This teleconference is being held in conjunction with the 7th Annual Conference on Distance Teaching and Learning here in Madison, Wisconsin. The first conference, held in 1985, attracted 150 participants. In 1991, the University of Wisconsin-Madison is happy to welcome 350 people to the conference. This annual gathering is now the official conference of the American Council on Distance Education.
Make the opening remarks and to welcome our keynote speaker at this, the 14th Annual Conference on Distance Teaching and Learning. Yes, the 14th Annual Conference. I wonder how many of you were here in 1985. We have a show of hands? Not too many. Well, I was, and it's hard to believe that so many conferences have gone by. My congratulations go to Cher Gibson, Chris Algren, Terry Gibson, Pat Takamoto, Tom Smith, who gave birth, so to speak, to this conference.
Jerry Ops opened our meetings a couple days ago with a description of the theme of this conference, the echoes and whispers from the future that will shape our profession. That image proved far richer than we might have imagined as we were planning this conference, and we have heard several major...
And I should recognize that 15 years ago, as I started this conference, I didn't have white hair, and I now do. It's also important to recognize that the University of Wisconsin has a history of involvement with distance education. We have a 100-plus year history in correspondence study. The university was also the site of the first educational radio station in the nation, and we were one of the first educational television stations in the nation as well.
You've got mail.
Regardless of where you live or what you do, you are part of the information age. But how can the concepts of language and math, science and technology be conveyed by a distant teacher who seems but a mere image on the screen or text? And how can that instructor know that the message is not only sent, but received? Interaction, despite distance, remains key.
Janet, could you tell us a little bit about ADEC and also about what led up to your heading up the organization and a little bit about your background?
Well, when I was at USDA, I worked a great deal with the Clinton-Gore administration. It was the time that they were just beginning to reach out using the internet. In fact, I did the first putting the White House on the internet. I was on Good Morning America, and I was the person who typed a message to the president.
Technology is becoming the hottest thing in education. Tonight, we go to school without ever stepping into the classroom. This is a Tech 2000 follow-up. You might remember a few weeks ago I introduced you to the new face of learning. We met a woman getting her diploma completely online. She is not alone. The field of distance education is exploding in popularity. If you need proof, just head over to the UW's 16th Annual Conference on Distance Teaching and Learning. We took the Tech 2000 cam over there today. More than 1,200 people from all over the world are here for a 3-day seminar. They're taking cutting-edge workshops, and they're seeing the latest technology that makes distance education work. Things like computers and software, even cameras for video conferencing. Organizers say the technology of this type of learning is about to really take off.
I think we're looking at the next year might be quite active with high-speed networks. The internet too is coming on. There is work being done at the university and other places around the country in digitizing video and being able to integrate that very quickly.
Distance learning is not new. It's really been around ever since there's been the written word. Correspondence courses, for example, are at least several hundred years old. That's Tech 2000 for Thursday.
Or did you go to faculty training and support? but they probably doesn't say that it's the...
So the whole idea of split attention is to integrate your text close to your relevant visual.
The team there of academics have developed a tool that they thought adequately or addressed well. Okay, we're going to move ahead. I know you're saying. No, seriously, what if... the thing that most people didn't hear was your language. Yeah, his reputation.
Did we meet expectations this year?
Not only met, exceeded.
Yes, this conference
Every year,
is always terrific. Yeah.
Terrific.
An outstanding experience once again for us. We're going to be back next year.
Wow, what an amazing audience. My name is Nick Floro, and I'm a learning architect at Steelworks Interactive Studios out on the East Coast. I was a keynote speaker back in 2017, and during that time we talked about how the future is today, how we can do a better job at designing learning. Make sure you focus on understanding your audience and their actual needs. Think about how you can make a difference, and I hope you've come out of the conference feeling super pumped up and have a lot of fun. I'm going to be on vacation this week, so I hope to see you next time.
I'm a simulations game designer and I'm an instructional game designer. I'm really excited to be talking to you today. I was at DT&L back in, I think, 2016, talking about games and gamification for learning. For the future, I predict distance education is going to be done like this. We're going to put on our VR headsets, we're going to strap right in, and we're going to learn some great information and great content. So again, have a great conference and enjoy the show.
Welcome to everyone at this 35th Conference on Distance Teaching and Learning. I'm Judith Betcher, and I keynoted 10 years ago now in 2009. I remember my keynote back then that I used an Alice in Wonderland theme to capture the feeling most of us had back then with the rapid changes in distance and online learning. My favorite character continues to be the White Queen, whose memory works in both directions. In the spirit of the White Queen, I would encourage you all to have two pairs of glasses. You want one pair to look backwards into the past, to remember what we have learned from the past, and a second pair to really look forward into the future and watch those edges of change. With two pairs of glasses, we can stay grounded, we can stay anchored, and we can also keep and develop a perspective on what educational experiences really make sense for our students for the future.
Hi, I'm David Metcalf with the Mixed Emerging Technology Integration Lab at the University of Central Florida. Since the timing of writing my first book on mobile learning in 2005, we've seen the world change. Back then there were a number of naysayers before the iPhone that you could ever deliver training or education on a mobile device like this too. But since that time, we've seen a proliferation of mobile phones throughout the world and across not just academia, but also throughout industry, throughout government, military. I'm excited about the things that I hear that are going on throughout the industry, throughout your environments. And I challenge you and all of us to continue to advance the state of the art in emerging technologies.
My name's Clark Quinn of Quinnovation, and I'm a consultant to orgs, government, not-for-profits, and higher ed on learning technology design and strategy. In 2011, I addressed the emergent possibilities arising from the increasing technology capabilities. I think that there are opportunities to truly make online learning a viable learning experience. And I'm afraid that we're still not tapping into them. As I say, only two things wrong with education today: the curriculum and the pedagogy. Other than that, it's fine. The limits are no longer the technology. The limits are now between our ears and, well, our pocketbooks. So it's time to pin our ears back and get stuck into doing this right. I wish you a great conference.
I'm a product or an alum of UW-Madison, and during the time I was on campus, I did not know about this particular conference. So it's wonderful for me to join you here on the 35th anniversary of it. You're fortunate to be at a conference where they've had keynote speakers like David Jonasson and John Bransford and Tom Reeves and Ellen Wagner and Tony Bates, Michael Moore, Roger Shank, Etienne Wanger, Chris Dady, Clark Quinn, Susan Aldridge. What an amazing assembly of people this conference has gotten together. You're so fortunate to be there. I look forward to meeting you all at the conference maybe next summer when I'm on sabbatical. Thank you very much and enjoy the show.
Good morning, DTNL. This is Dr. Alec Kouros, and I'm a professor of educational technology and media at the University of Regina in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. And so I know that you're having a great time. I had an incredible time at both the 2017 and 2018 events, and so you're in really good company. I know that. I had some really rich conversations, deep conversations, unexpected conversations when I was there, and probably the best part is some of the enduring relationships that I've built with some of the people in that room. So I really want to wish you the same, great conversations, great learning, and connections that endure well beyond the conference. This is Dr. Alec Kouros, wishing you all the best from Saskatchewan. Take care.
I'm very happy to be here today to bring you greetings and to share just a couple of lessons from the past. I predicted many years ago that the internet would be a very important force to education and other things around the globe, and that's certainly been true. But my major lessons throughout my life have been that you have to put learners at the center of the model. Models of learning that are personal, local, and change people's lives are really critical. We call this quality. Quality distance education is critical. And I hope you'll remember that too, that it's important to think about quality all of the time. Remember the learners, have a great conference. Be energetic and aspirational. Be realistic as well as reflective. You can create the future for your learners and distance education.